Hello, everybody. Tonight we are going to do Futility by Wilfred Owen, which we covered in class today. Okay, let's start off with the very title, Futility, and what the word means. To be futile is pointless, meaningless, no effect, um, completely unnecessary. So from the title straight away, we've got this idea that what we're about to read becomes pointless. Okay, now we've got to work out what it is that he sees as being pointless. Um, we then let's look at the structure like we have previously with the other poems. Okay, firstly, um, we have 14 lines. Again, we had 14 lines in Dolce. We have actually no, sorry, that's wrong. Dolce was longer, but we had 14 lines in Anthem, and we have 14 lines here. But it's not a sonnet. It's broken into sestets, lines of 7. And if you have a look at the rhyming scheme, doesn't quite rhyme. It tries to rhyme. Snow and no rhyme. And here, tall and all rhyme. But the rest of it, like seeds and sides, star, stir, tall, toil, sun once, sown, snows, sort of rhymes. Now, no, snow and no rhyme. But what the rest of it is a series of half rhymes. And as one of you said in class today, when you're reading it with those half rhymes, it actually is really unsettling. That is part of the purpose of the poem, is to make us feel uncomfortable. The structure itself suggests that there is a disharmony. 14 lines suggests we're going to have a sonnet, but this breaking down of the stanzas says no, we're not having a sonnet. The failure to rhyme and to put in those half rhymes also creates that underlying disharmony, which is very similar to the other two poems, where he's playing with poetic convention to unsettle us, to suggest that on the deeper level there is something not right. It's almost like the structure is verisimilitude, like it's pretending to be true. Um, okay, now let's go through the poem itself. Move him into the sun. Gently its touch awoke him once at home, whispering of fields half sown. Notice where our full stop is. It and the hyphen here and a comma here means that these three lines are to be read together. Okay, so move him into the sun. Oh, sorry, gone too far. It's an imperative. It's a declaration, an order to do something. The use of the him, it's non-specific. Um, it's like we're also in media res. We've come into the middle of the action, and we have this dialogue already happening, and it does sound like dialogue. Um, okay, it also, even though we don't have speech marks, it does remind us that it sounds like speech. It's like one person is talking to another, and so we get an idea that there's more than one person around. That's for me anyway. Um, so we're spying on some kind of action taking place here. Now, the sun in this poem becomes a metaphorical central idea. So it becomes an extended metaphor or motif of the poem. Um, and the sun is symbolically linked to life and to giving of life and regeneration and generation. And we move forward. Gently its touch awoke him once. Okay, now looking at gently, its touch awoke him once. So gently, move him into the sun. Gently, its touch. It's interesting, the gently here, the adverb. It kind of links to both the sun and to its touch, as if move him gently, but the touch is gentle as well. So it connects the two. The other thing about this is we didn't mention this in class, but having a talk with the teachers in the staff room, it's quite possible that this particular line is a reference to Lazarus, a biblical allusion to Lazarus. Lazarus had died, and 4 days after his death, Jesus performed a miracle and he rose. So it's this idea that maybe, just maybe, that this is a biblical allusion to this as well, which could be, given that the sun can be a symbolism of God, an allusion to God. Notice as well, we start to get these lexical chains. So we have awoke, woke, rouse, wake, woke. Notice how many times it's in there, and then sleep in the last line, like it turns itself around. So that's quite an important thing too. So we get this sense of hope. So gently its touch awoke him once at home, whispering of fields half sown. So it's an idea that this has happened before. It's happened at home, and whispering is a nice link to gently. They go together. A field's half sown. Now, this for me can mean several different things. Firstly, it's an idea of fertility. Sowing the seeds is growth. So it's a couple of different ways we can read it. Like half sown means that there's this. He's on the verge of becoming a man and being able to procreate, and he can't. It's half sown. A seed that's half sown is not going to germinate, is not going to regenerate, or sorry, to generate. Arguably, also at a deeper level, it could also mean the fact that these, like if we link it to Anthem for Doomed Youth, it's youth being cut off, half sown, half grown, not quite a man yet, and life being cut off before they're a man. Always it woke him. Notice that's a high modality of always there. Always it woke him. Even in France, this now is a reference to the battlefields. The always until, these two go together as the until is kind of like a response to the always. Always it woke him, even in France, until this morning and this snow. Notice the repetition of this, which is bringing us to the present and putting us back into this very moment. Morning and snow sort of juxtaposed here. Morning and sun go together. We've got the idea of dawn, hope, new beginnings, and it's this gentleness about this stanza that gives us this idea of hope. And yet we then have the snow. There's this moment of coldness that's creeping in to this particular poem and into this particular moment in time, which kind of is juxtaposed against the sun and its warmth and the ability of the sun to awaken this man. We also get the idea, again, up here, the field's half sown. Perhaps he was a farmer. We get the idea that this is something that he has done previously. His day started at dawn when the sun woke him to go and start working the crops and the land. And it's a softly kind of thing, this whispering and gentility about it. Okay, until this morning and this snow. Also, there's a irony there. The soldiers would have been afraid of morning. Dawn brought with it a new attack. It was something to be feared. And yet, in this particular stanza, we have hope. Then, okay, if anything might rouse him now, the kind old sun will know. Okay, the idea of rousing him goes with woke and awoke up here as well. And the idea that he could be woken, could be lifted out of this melee that he's in. And I'm saying melee because at this moment it's not an acceptance of death. And then we have the kind old sun will know. Firstly here, it's got a nursery rhyme feel, which brings about the beauty of this stanza. We also have the anthropomorphism of kind, old, and know, giving human behaviour and attitudes to the sun. There's also a play on the word with sun. Could also mean son, as in father and son, God being the father. And yet, if we link it to Lazarus, there's a link there to Lazarus with the play on the word son there as well. Okay, I'm going to pause this here and then move into the next stanza.